All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Comedians Chopping It Up. I'm comedian Jay Bliss, and I'm here with a different cast of characters, but we're gonna rock it out like we always do. On the screen right now, based off the screen that I have up, I got my man Patrick Williams out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. On here, we met about almost a year back, working with George Wilborn at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone. Funny brother. We had a good weekend. Also on the screen is my man from Florida, my man Ron Hortman, Granddaddy Fresh. I met him way back at 50 Comics Deep.
Yeah.
Funny brother, man, in Florida, and we can never seem to connect when I'm in Florida and you in Charlotte. Like, it just don't never work out. We always missing each other, right? And then also on the screen, man, I got my man out of DC, man, my fraternity brother, man, Tommy Taylor Jr. Y'all might have seen this dude on The Wire, on ABC's The Proposal. He been on TV. He's an actor, commercial dude, everything he can do, and funny behind comedian, man. So what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I can't call it, man. We trying to come out of this pandemic. By show of hands, how many of you guys have done a show yet?
No. Okay. Look, on Zoom.
On Zoom. Okay.
Been doing Zoom comedy shows.
Yeah, so my first gig is supposed to be Friday. So we'll see what happens. Greenville, South Carolina. And I'm a little nervous because I ain't been on stage in over 3 months. So we'll see how it goes down. What are the things? Go ahead.
I said, you gonna give it to him?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna try my best. But it's like so much stuff going on. Y'all know the energy that we give is also a part of the energy that we're receiving.
Right.
With everything that's going on, whether it be the pandemic, whether it be the social issues, whether it be just how things are, pay, unemployment, like everything. Like, I just don't feel that funny at times. You know what I mean? So it really comes down to, how all that stuff comes across.
Sure.
Are you going to talk about the pandemic on stage?
I have to. I mean, think about it. What we've been doing for the last 3 months, right?
Right.
For me not to get on stage and mention it, it'd be an injustice.
I'm at a battle with myself. Like that's all everybody been talking about. So I know it's going to be 8 people that went up before you that's going to talk about
that's real.
The pandemic. So I just acknowledge it and keep it moving, or do I put my spin on it?
So here's the goal. Here's what I feel about it, right? I've got to put my spin on it because their version of their pandemic ain't my version of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what I go through with my pandemic is what I'm going to talk about. Like the stuff that's funny that happened to me during the pandemic is mine. So I feel like I can talk about it. Some people might relate to it, and some people might be like, man, I ain't had nothing like that happen to me. You know what I mean? So, I feel like I got to at least talk about it for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think you got to acknowledge it. Because think if you get up there and don't say anything, imagine you're an audience member. Like, we were living through this thing and you just gonna ignore it. Like, you're not gonna bring it up. And you're like, what's this talking about? So I feel like you owe it to the audience to like bring it up. But like you're saying, like bring your own perspective to it, like make it unique, and then maybe even like intertwine it to like some other stuff that you're doing.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, it has to be acknowledged.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll give you a perfect example. Like, I did a country club one time. I walked in there, and for me not to express the fact that I was the only black person in there would have been an injustice. Like, come on, man. I'm gonna mention the fact. I'm like, okay, 1%. Like, y'all ain't got no black people here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no doubt.
You gotta say it. You know.
It's like there's only like I don't even know. Like a couple of times in history where everybody is experiencing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So, like, everybody has a commonality. So, but you can branch it off like a million different ways. But that's something everybody in the world, like this can translate to.
Exactly.
In the world.
It's a unifier.
Talk about the fears. Talking about who believe it, who don't believe it. Talk about like the nonsense stuff that y'all got to go to, like who ran out of toilet paper. It's like a whole bunch of stuff that y'all can, just go in.
Yeah, Halloween, this year's Halloween. Not gonna be toilet paper in nobody's house.
Ain't nobody gonna be like, yeah, that joke is funny. Yo.
Commodity.
All right. So another thing you guys have in common, and like I said, I met you guys throughout the years. But you guys all primarily work clean. And for those of y'all that's listening in and don't know the terminology, what clean is it's basically not only material, but profanity. It's basically you're talking in a sense that you make innuendos maybe, but you don't necessarily go to a point where somebody will be like, I can't bring my grandma onto that show. But you guys actually write your jokes and say it in a way where people will be like, oh man, this was nice, man. We should have brought the family to this. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's a good thing. Tommy, you do a show, well, you produce a show called Almost Ladies Night. And the Ladies Night deal, it's a grown folk environment. Like this is grown. Like people got drinks, they get massages, they got the candle lights, they doing everything.
It's super lit.
And you still keeping it clean. And I'm like, dang, this dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole, you know, process. I see Patrick, you go on, not only are you clean, but you do characters, you do voices, you do imitations and everything. And Ron, you got the whole family gamut. The thing about it was when I met you, we were both young. We were both kind of starting out. Yeah. And we were both had the same questions in the back of that contest where we were trying to find out where we stood with our peers.
Right.
But your question was, I'm clean, man. I don't even know if I can even match up. And all the dudes was like, man, you crazy as hell, man. You ain't even see your own set. You know what I mean? And we were just like, let them know, like, nah, cuz you straight. You know what I mean? So like, that's the part that I want to kind of talk to you guys about. And you guys can answer when you want, but was it an early on decision to go clean, or was it something you guys eventually went to and said, nah, I'm just going to go clean?
For me, it was day one. I was afraid to say something on stage, and if my mother came, that I wouldn't be able to say in front of my mother.
Okay.
So I stuck with that from the get out, and it was simply that. If my mama come here, I want to be able to be who I am without her being like, oh my God, I didn't raise him like that, you know. And
right.
Stuck with me, man. It stuck with me.
And that was always my thing too. I'm a church boy. So I've been in church all my life. And for me, when I started out in church, so I was like, man, I couldn't dare get up there and say nothing, you know, out the way. And then it'd be like, who is this dude? I thought that was the same dude that was just at church playing the drum, you know. So I was like, man, I just got to do clean. And if it work, it work. If it don't, it don't. I didn't know it was really a separation until I got into it. I thought comedy was comedy, how I originally started out.
It is. It is. I mean, that's a true statement. Comedy is comedy. You know what I mean? But, you know, we find a way, very much like society, we're going to find a way to differentiate ourselves. And we're going to use it as a stepping stone, or we're going to use it as a different, oh, man, he clean. And I'm like, why are you saying it like that? You know what I mean? Or, you know, like that stigma that come with it. You know what I mean? Or he blue. You know what I mean? You know, stuff like that. So, Tommy, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of trying to be authentic to myself really was the thing. Cause, you know, when I growing up, you know, I'm in the church and stuff like that as well, but just, you know, I never cursed or whatever. And it was like when I started doing stand-up, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna try to pander, basically. Like, I'm gonna try to be me. And then also, like, my thing about watching comedy is like, I think another, like, just, you know, push for me was when you see a lot of comedians, and the comedy shows I would go to, it'd be like the same 3 topics. It'd be like sex, weed, and like, yeah. Like, it's like, dog, like, and it's funny, and no shade and nothing like that, but it's like, yo, like,
I got shade. Like my thing is this, like there's tons of comments, like there's tons of topics you can talk about. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you do stick to the same stuff, people get tired of it. You know what I mean? And for those that are listening in, we use the term hacky, right? So hacky means that, to me, the term hacky to me is, if I know your punchline before you finish, that's hacky. Like, that's not even good for me. Like, don't tell me a joke about the black box on the airplane. Like, really, dude? Like, we really talking about that right now? You know, or how big was the cell phone when it first came out? Like, man, come on. We talking about that? You know, so I get that. And here's the thing. You guys are speaking your truth because you guys are staying true to yourself. Two, you guys said you guys were church heavy. I'm a preacher's kid too, right?
Me too.
And so you're a preacher. Okay, so preacher's kid,
Me too.
church. And I came up in the same environment, right? But when I started doing comedy, I feel comfortable on stage when I'm talking as if I'm talking to my friends. And if I'm talking to my friends and the curse words happen to come out, it just happened to come out. But I don't write dirty. Like I don't write curse words in my joke. Like I don't write my joke and go, yo, this, blank, blank, F-bomb, F-bomb, F-bomb. Like I don't do that. I'll write the joke clean. And as I'm telling it on stage, if I'm getting a reaction, if I put one in, and if I get a reaction, whether I put one out, that's how it balances what I do. My slogan, TTBS, that was one of the first jokes I wrote, which is a curse word. That's that bullshit. Like that's the first joke I wrote. One of the first jokes I wrote. And it's like, does that make me a dirty comic? Nah.
No, not at all.
But I've done shows and I've cussed on the shows, and somebody came up to me after and said, "You ain't cussed one time." I go, "Yeah, I cussed plenty of times." Like you didn't hear it. You know what I mean? So that's another interesting thing.
The best thing for me is after the show, somebody they walk up to you and they be laughing, and then they be like, "Man, you didn't cuss, did you?"
I love it. I love it.
No, man, I didn't. But
Right.
I cuss you out in the parking lot if I had to. I just don't do it on stage.
So I feel like this too. I feel like if you are clean, I feel like you got a better opportunity to get places faster. I feel like that because I think the writing is better. And like you said, it's easy to go down this rabbit hole into just dirty topics like weed and sex and whatever, but you challenge yourself more. Like I've noticed this, that the app TikTok, a lot of people are not getting on it, but a lot of people are getting on it. And the comedians that I see get the most views, they only put minute clips up, but you put a minute clip up and it's clean, more people get to see it. Because they're looking at the algorithm and they're saying, oh, this is not dirty, don't have curse words in it. More kids can see it, more adults can see it. We'll send it to more people. My biggest view on that app so far is one video that I did. It had 32,000 views. That's more views than I got on any other app I put on YouTube, if I put it on Facebook, Instagram. So that's something y'all can think about. Like if y'all got minute clips, put them up there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just more people that's gonna see it. So I see a lot of my friends that's been on comedy, sometimes less than me. They've been on TV before I have because of their clean comedy.
So I used to feel that way about writing clean and to get you places quicker, but the way my career path has been set up, I haven't really gotten that far. So I'm trying to figure out, if I should start cussing or not. I'm really on the fence.
I don't think you should. I think that
I feel him on that.
I feel you. Here's the thing. I cuss, but I ain't gotten that much further. Here's the thing. Any joke that I do, any joke that I do dirty, I can make it clean if I'm on TV. If they say, "Hey, can you make that clean?" I go, "Yeah, I'll just change this word up." It's like rapping. Like if you rap it, and all of a sudden you got to do the clean version on a TV show. You know what I'm saying? Like I can make it clean, but I just feel like time and space, man. Like don't ever think that you got to change up that way in order to get traction.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, especially starting out, it was kind of hard to find a lane, so to speak.
Right.
It's like first, in church rooms, I remember I said "nigga" or something like that in a joke, and then the lady, she went off me afterwards, but the crowd loved it or whatever, and it was a great set. But the funny thing is, she like curses when she's outside of those rooms, and I'm
Right,
just like,
exactly.
Right. And then when I'm in the the bars and the more urban spaces, or not even just urban, but mainstream like bar stuff, it seems like you're too sometimes, like, especially when I was trying to find your, I guess, voice, right?
Right.
It's like then you're kind of too clean for like people sitting around drinking, like they want to hear some like sex jokes and talk about weed or whatever.
They want you to go there, yeah.
Bruh, I did a show at this bar, and they was doing my intro. They was like, this gentleman has been on Nickelodeon. Dude, the crowd started laughing at me because I was on Nickelodeon, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, that's a good credit. My mama was proud of me, right? But they look at you being clean as like, oh my God, this is supposed to be so corny. That's what they think, man.
Right, off top.
So I was at a point where I said, I'm gonna stop telling people I'm clean and just let them notice. But then Roy Wood Jr., he told me, he's like, no, man, you tell them you clean. That's who you are. You tell them, and you stand on that. Yeah. And I was like, all right, Roy, but you doing all this is good for you to say that. But you're right, man. That's who I am. And if they book you, that's the brand that they booking. And you guys,
I'll give you an example. And this is somebody I was trying to get on one of these eventually, and I will. But Dusty Slay.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Dusty clean, and he don't shy away from it. I've never heard him really go dirty. Even like off stage, he might be, but on stage, completely clean.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun, man.
Yeah. Now what's fun for me might not be, it's different for y'all, is when I have to do a clean show and I'm thinking about it the whole time. You know what I mean? Like that is more of a challenge because I know how quick I can say something like off the cuff, and I'm like, yo, let me slow down right now before I get too excited up here. You know what I mean? So
the challenge always been for me, and I hope my mama ain't watching this, but when I had to do a urban room, right? And everybody before me, like 50 comics deep, everybody before me is just they give it to, and I'm like, man, how I'm gonna differentiate myself from this without, so I would come out and I'm like, man, give it up for them niggas. Them niggas crazy. And everybody be clapping. I'm like, well, me, I'm African American. I'm different. And that would just switch it up for me a little bit. And then they allow me to be me, man. So that's always a challenge for me, man.
All right. So what would you say? And you guys do churches.
Yes.
Right. So, and I know that them paychecks be nice in churches. Like when they do them love offerings for comedians, I'm like, man, you'll get more money there than you
smiling. He's smiling big on that.
Look, they say we're gonna do a love offering for the comedian. I'm like, man, thank you, Jesus.
Now I had to stop doing love offers because love offers ain't show that much love. I mean,
really?
Yeah. When they said love offering, that means they're just kind of going around. But once you set your honorarium, is what they like to call it.
Honorarium.
That's what they're looking for. Now, once you get an honorarium, you are then doing something.
Okay.
How you spell that? Let me honorarium.
No, right. Hey, I'm gonna get a t-shirt with that on there and say, hey, honorarium.
Honorariums over love offering.
There you go, yeah.
It's like honorariums matter.
Yeah, right. So here's the thing that I've noticed, and stories work really well in churches when you're telling a story and it has a lot of details within the story. Because what I recognize, like a Marcus D. Wiley, who I love watching as far as is how he tells stories, is even his cadence is more like a preacher.
Yes.
It's like, you feel like you have that whole dynamic. And I've been to church services and you be like, man, Pastor tell 2 funny jokes that whole sermon.
Yeah.
But to stand there on that stage with that many people in that congregation and be able to capture them from beginning to end with all your nonsense, it's a great feeling.
It is.
I mean, it's a great feeling. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I feel like every audience could be like a church audience. You know what I mean? Because I had the best times in churches. Yep. One of the shows I remember doing at a church, it was a Friday night, and they had me there for the couples ministry. No, it was a Saturday night. And I was there for the couples ministry. And I said, let me get this straight. y'all selected a divorced comedian to come in and do jokes for y'all on couples night on a Saturday, right? And I said, I'm gonna give y'all the God's honest truth. I was like, every dude in here don't want to be here. I said, this was a woman's bad idea to come up here. I said, look at Pat. The pastor don't even want to be here. He got to be here in the morning. And they was falling out laughing. And I was like, the casserole don't taste good. I was just going in on them, man. And it was just organic, like, because I was just letting them know their truth. Y'all in here on a Saturday night, knowing y'all got to come in here tomorrow. I was like, Pastor got to come in here just so he can show his face. And I was like, his wife probably thought this was a good idea. Like, nobody think this is a good idea. You know what I mean? I was like,
Hilarious.
like one of those joints. But I like churches. I know y'all also get pulled into gigs just because y'all clean that y'all don't want to do. Man. Like kids.
Man.
Yeah. So, and I'm starting to get away from that. And the crazy part is I'm actually a youth pastor at my church.
Okay.
But doing comedy for teens right now is a whole different level because their attention span ain't there, number one. And then number two, I ain't got time to go in there and, well, it's twofold. The people that book you want you to do what they seen at the comedy club or the church or whatever. But these kids, they so quick with it because of social media. They just want you to get in there and rank on them and joke on them. So it's kind of almost if you go that route, they're like, well, you ain't do what we needed you to do. But then if you go the route of the kids, you got them, they all happy and blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of getting to the point where I think I might just say, I don't do those no more. Because it's getting hard with trying to figure out where's that happy medium to meet the customer and the teens where they are.
Absolutely.
They want you to come in with a Wildin' Out for Jesus shirt on because that's what they want.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And go in.
They don't even know how to spell honorarium.
Honorarium. There you go. That's gonna be the new phrase right there, man. Hey, so Tommy, let me ask you this, man. You actually produce a show every month in DC. Is it every month or every 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's every month.
Every month. Now, talk about the challenges with producing a show, because I know the show that I would do annually, that's only one time a year. That's stressful as heck. You know what I mean? Like yeah. Dealing with the talent, make sure you got their money, just all of the things that could go wrong. And I will tell you, when I came to your event, your staff, your people that you got rocking with you, they on point, bro. Like they was running that thing like clockwork. You know what I mean? The young lady you had doing the music, then everybody that was doing like the party favors and the drinks and the games y'all had set up and the scheduling, everything was like to a point, even to the point where y'all did the prayer before the show started. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was flawless. How stressful is that? And is it worth it to keep doing every month, or is it something you like, I started it, I gotta finish it?
Man, like actually I never wanted to produce shows, which is the funny thing.
Right.
It just kind of like fell in my lap. Like somebody's like, hey, I got a date like a week from now. You want to do a show? And I was like, I guess why not? And then I just kind of created this concept in my mind. Cause like, I don't know, when it seems like every comedy show is kind of the same. So I was like, if I'm going to do something, I want it to be like a little different, a little like, you know, something I would enjoy going to, and have some bad women in there, like, but still kind of keep my brand and everything. And because I like going out to the club and everything, so I try to bring that whole environment into the comedy show. So the first time we did like a week out, and like we had like 300 people join, was packed out. So I was like, let's do it next month, and then we just kept doing it. And like it is a little stressful. Like the main thing is, and then we've been switching to different venues now, and like trying to travel. Because we started doing the city wineries, and those like, you know, those are pretty phenomenal venues. I think the main stressful thing, because I try to like change it up. So like in between the comedians, I do these different segments we do, and I try and they're always different each show. So like kind of staying creative, and like then sometimes, because to be honest, like the show is like really created to do stuff I hate doing.
I feel you on that, but you're doing it for the audience sake.
Yeah, so honestly, I hate hosting. So like coming up and like doing that, so like, you know, I do that, and then like to jump in, like we making up songs on the spot, like doing different things. We got the girls and everything. So it's honestly the challenge to me, which I kind of enjoy, like the challenge part of it. And then just, I mean, the big stressful thing is like, you know, we're booking committee, make sure everybody's there, like getting, and then it's funny you said the staff, because sometimes like, you know, every show, like it was like somebody, like the car broke down.
Right.
Like, hey, like my bottle girl's gone, like, you know, my DJ, like whatever, like it's always something. It's like, you know, just kind of navigating through that stuff and then trying to create like, you know, I think a lot of times I try to do too much in a way, but it's like you want to create like this like amazing experience for the audience. And you know, but that's also exciting, I think, as a comedian, because you love, you know, the unknown. It's like, and that's the beautiful thing about comedy. You could do a set like a million times, but then like you still never know like how it's gonna hit.
Right. The improvisation of things, every audience is different, stuff like that. Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of the challenge with all different things. And then to kind of, you know, to create like this sexy no, like lit atmosphere, but also like keeping it clean, you know, make sure the comedians like aren't like going
don't go crazy. Don't be cursing too much. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got hood people, we got like white people, Asian, like we got the church people come in, and like everybody just we had like old ladies taking shots.
Right.
Like it's great to see people really enjoy themselves. And in the night, they're like, yo, like, yeah, y'all didn't curse. Like the joke was like super dope. And like just seeing people really enjoy themselves, but then you're still being true to, like, I'm still being true to myself too.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it was a good experience. And I mean, you know, in DC, you know, it's so expensive, you know, like just parking and, you know, ticket prices, things like that. And I was like, man, this joint is packed out. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's funny because I remember going there, and I remember doing your room, and it was majority Black women in there. And
like 90% women all the time.
They were not feeling me that night. I was like, woo, they are mad at me. I was like, and I talked about it on my podcast, and I was like, I don't know what happened. I was like, but I guess what it was, I don't know what it really was, but I remember it was a white guy that went up, there was a Hispanic female that went up, and then it was like the games. And then when I went up, I was like the Black dude, and then I did one joke that was like this.
You were like killing it, but there was like one joke. It was like with one girl, and then it
snowballed. Yeah, and she was so angry. I said, "Why you so mad?" Like that. I was asking her like. She was like, she was like that. And I said something about my daughter. She said, that'll help you. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not fighting you. I said, I'm not fighting y'all. I said, that's not what I'm doing. I said, I already got paid. I'm good.
You know, that's the funny thing about like Black women, especially having like a whole crowd full of like Black women.
Yeah.
Like, certain topics they're extra touchy on.
Yeah.
And when it's full of them, they're all going to co-sign each other. Like, that's right.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Like it all went downhill, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then I started laughing, and it was so funny because when I got done, I met like some people over at the bar, and they was like, man, we apologize. I said, yo, you can't apologize for your whole city, man. I was like, no way.
Wow.
I mean, it was just hilarious, man. But I've seen you, Patrick, you actually had an opportunity. You were on stage, was it with Martin on the Martin Lawrence tour?
Yeah. So I did. Well, you know, he on the Lit AF tour, so he going around in different cities. So when he came to the city,
what does AF mean?
They do like this.
And favored.
In favor. He did it.
I never knew it.
And so in the beginning, I don't know if he do it. Probably he do it in every city, but he do it like a contest in the beginning, a Martin impersonation contest. Right. And they pick a couple people from the crowd. You go up there. You got a couple of seconds to go up there and just do your thing. You can impersonate your best Martin impersonation. So out of any movie, TV show, whatever, and just get up there and do your thing. So I got up there. Out of 10 people, I had the best. I did Bob from marketing.
Right.
Oh, party's out of control. And the arena erupted, and it went crazy. And then I got it to do a meet and greet with Martin afterwards.
Yeah, that's dope. You just never know. You never know when it's like when somebody say action. You never know if that's going to be your opportunity to just go, yo, let me go ahead and chop this up real quick. You know what I mean?
He ain't called me since, but you know, was a great time. You know, it was a moment. You know, you're gonna bring it up.
Listen, you never know, man. Do a weekly skit on Bob, and then you never know if it's gonna end up blowing up. You just don't know, man. Social media is funny like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, Ron, you in Florida, which has always been amazing to me because y'all literally don't have to leave the state if y'all want to. Like y'all can literally work all year long in that state and just and your whole calendar be full.
Yeah, you can work. You can work.
I see you. I see your schedule. I'm like, this dude working again, and this dude that literally down the street where he was last week. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude crazy.
And Florida's so crazy. You can get anywhere in Florida within 4 hours.
Right.
Anywhere in the state. And they got a lot of good rooms. They got some small rooms. They got little bars, country clubs. I could mention names, but I won't. But there's certain rooms I would never do. Like I would never do that room. Like, I'm not doing no choice. What letter to start with?
B.
You know what? I did a lot of those.
I know. But listen, when you first started, I don't care. That's good. That's stage time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after a while, you be like, man, I'm not. You know, room with 8 people in it. I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Hey, I did a show with 2 people, man.
Yeah.
And they still wanted to run it. Like, oh no, we don't do this time. I'm like, oh, geez.
And it's so brutal. It's so brutal. I think I did a show one time. It was 4 people in there, and I was like, I was headlining, and I said, man, I gotta be up here for 45 minutes to an hour. You know what I mean? And it's like, and Joe can't go fast enough.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
So how y'all doing? Y'all good?
Right. I always challenge myself when it's something like that, where I always be like, I'm gonna try 4 new jokes. like how much worse can it get? I'm gonna use it like an open mic. I'm gonna do 4 new jokes, and I write them out before I go out there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna do this one. 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 And I just try these jokes
actually,
out.
some of the small crowds like be the best ones. They're so like.
I think so too.
Right. I was doing the comedy zones, and sometimes they would have like 4 or 5 people in the joint. Like some of those crowds were the best ones. We would be going in.
You talking about the one in Fredericksburg?
No, they actually had one in technically DC, but like right across the bridge in Virginia on low. It was a sky top joint.
The Arlington, the one across from the Pentagon.
Yeah.
So the crazy thing about that one was, the one about that one was, the Comedy Zone would only book the headliner, right? So we would go, and they would always have a magician first.
Every week.
You'd be surprised how many magicians live in DC and they got to work at the White House. So they would do the White House, and then they would do that one the next week. And I went there, and
jazz band.
Right. I forgot about that, yo. So they would have a magician, a band, and then they bring the headliner up. And it was and it was like right across the street from the Pentagon. I remember I was in that joint one time, and I said something about the president. I was like, let me stop talking. I was like, I know they got this joint bugged. I'm like the Pentagon was like right across the street. You know what I mean? But I remember that. So that one, they would have small crowds on certain nights on that one. And then the next night, it would be jam-packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like sometimes like the jam-packed crowds, particularly for that room, for whatever reason, like sometimes the jam-packed crowds would be like extra dry.
Right.
And then like the little tiny crowds, like they were just there to like get in and have fun. And then you could like, you just connected with them. And actually it's funny because like some of the people who came to those shows like still follow me to this day.
Right, because they were in that small room, they felt intimate, they got to know you. It's weird because people don't understand like comedy is contagious. So when you're in a room, you could have one person in that audience that dictate to the whole room whether everybody gonna laugh or not. Like you ever been in a room and you be telling a joke and you hear somebody go, oh, like every joke, come on, man. Like, you messing up a room, man. Like, shut up. You know what I'm saying? like, people don't even want to laugh because you making comments, you know what I mean? And it's just like, people don't understand like how contagious laughter is. And this pandemic is affecting that because think about it. Look how close everybody had to sit together before in a comedy club.
Mm-hmm.
And that laughter is contagious. So now that everybody's spread out, your laughter is going to get lost.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm like worried about. Well, I think about going back is like, and I wonder how you feel about this since you guys joined this weekend.
Right.
Is how like, cause that's the worst part. Cause like, is the seating arrangement. Cause some people don't know how to seat people in clubs, and they sit like a whole group of people like in the back, and then like it's like 3 people in front, and then there's like, why don't you just move everybody up front? But now with the new rules, like everybody has to be
spread out
apart from each other. So how you feel about that since you're gonna be fresh into it?
So what I heard from the comedians that I've talked to that's been doing shows starting like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, 6 feet apart. You can't sit with anybody you didn't come in there with. The staff has to wear a mask and gloves. And I think the audience has to be at least 8 to 12 feet away from the stage.
Wow. And do y'all have the capacity in DC? Like we're entering, well, we'll be entering phase 2. So I guess you can only have like
50% capacity.
Yeah, 50%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I'm gonna bring my own microphone, right? So the thing that I feel
wait, you said you bring your own mic.
Oh yeah, man. Dude. Listen, man. Think about that for a second. How many times? Think about that for a second. Think about all the times you've been doing comedy, for all the years you've been doing comedy. Tell me you never got a cold before from doing a show. Yeah. And somebody that you was working with was just getting over a cold or had a cold. And it was because we was using the same microphone.
Absolutely.
But how do you do that though? Do you, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Bliss coming to the stage. Boom, y'all wait a minute.
I'm the headliner. Listen, I'm the headliner. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah. Y'all play some music or something. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm not touching that microphone, man. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get up. He gonna take that off. I'm gonna get up there. I'm gonna put mine in, rip my drink. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Like, I mean, like it's not, play some music. I don't care.
Bliss coming out with the Bobby Brown joint. What's up, y'all? Yo.
Like,
he better bring his own carpet. Nah, I gotta use my own.
Hey, clean this thing off. I'm bringing my own stool. Listen, so like yeah. With some people, no, that's funny. What some people don't get is like how you need people close to the stage.
Yeah. To
get your reaction to your joke. Like when that front area is empty, your jokes don't hit the same.
I think psychologically you think like, what? Why won't they sit up here? Like, what's going on?
You can't see anything, so you have to wait to like hear.
Right.
Like,
and you know how we are on stage. Who do we focus on when we telling jokes? We focus on the person that's sitting there not laughing.
Yeah.
And the person that's up front that's doing that. Yeah. Whole rest of the room laughing. We sit there like, man, I'm bombing up here. This dude ain't even laughed yet.
I'm gonna get him with this one. This next one. Ooh.
But see, ours is different though. They sit people to the front. As soon as they walk in,
you're at the funny bone. So the funny bone is they seat front first to the back.
Yeah.
So other clubs, they ask you where you want to sit.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. That's how you know I don't travel. Yeah. That's I just told on myself just then. Just told on myself just then. Yep. Okay, carry on.
Nah, you absolutely right. I mean, it is different from different club to clubs, but like I said, I like going to the funny bones and the improvs because I know the front gonna be packed. I know they're gonna fill it in first. You know what I mean? And then I know once the show start, 15, 20 minutes in, the black people come in the back. Like it's like y'all late again. Like here y'all come. Late. You know, and it's just like, oh, it get on my nerves. Sometimes I do stop my show. And I always be like, why y'all late? Like, why y'all, like, what's going on? You know?
So let me ask you, Jay, how did you first start navigating the tour scene? Because you be touring pretty heavily.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It was basically, I kept writing. I mean, I would write. I just kept writing. And what happened was, I was one of those people that was complaining that I wasn't headlining, right? Mm-hmm. And another comedian came to me and told me, look, man, you keep working and you keep writing and you keep doing your best show. And the managers of the clubs are going to be the people that's going to reach out and tell the people that's booking, don't bring him back unless he headlining. They're going to be the ones that's going to boost you up. It's not going to be you complaining about it, right? So I was able to get headlining gigs from the Comedy Zone, but I was able to get feature gigs from the A rooms like the Funny Bones and Improvs by meeting the booker that did that at a comedy festival.
Okay.
So then my reputation followed from me not causing any issues, me sticking to my time, me always being a professional, and people always having good feedback. So then when I would send my avails out to clubs that never worked with me before, I would attach my references to the people that booked me from that club and that club. And then sometimes they would respond to the email and go, yeah, book Bliss, he's a good act. So then like, that's where I was able to fill my schedule up because word of mouth have followed me. And that's pretty much how it was. And it was,
you did it without the agent or anything. You just,
it's all on me, man. But I would tell you this, and I think it comes from like my corporate background. Dude, I don't give nobody no flack at no club. They can mess my food up. I'm like, hey man, don't worry about that, man. It ain't no big deal, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I ain't gonna be in there talking about, man, y'all mess my food. I'm like, listen, man, where my check at? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I talk to all the staff. I talk to the manager. When I go to them Funny Bones, and man, I dap everybody up from the cook to the person that's working the front office. If I haven't seen the person that's selling the tickets in there, I go in their office and talk to them at least 5 minutes.
Oh, that's what's up.
And that's me featuring there. That's not me headlining.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come back, people be like, oh man, yeah, I remember you, man. What's been up, man? How your twins? They remember you. So it's just like, you know, that word of mouth. But the thing about it is, sometimes it's those people that talk to the booker.
Yeah.
When Jay Bliss coming back? And that's what happens, man. You always gotta be, and I'll tell you this is another thing to do. Next time you go to a club, just ask the staff who y'all don't like coming here. They'll tell y'all.
Ooh.
Yeah,
they tell you every comedian that don't act right, and you'll hear the same names over and over and over again. You hear the same name over and over. Yep. So that's how I got my bookings, man. And it's I say part of it is the grace of God, and the other part of it is just me being a professional.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know, and the fact that I don't got no other job.
Out here.
I'm out here, and if I ain't working, if you don't see me on the road, that means I ain't getting paid, and that means my babies ain't eating, and that's a problem. So yeah, that's it. That's the best thing I can tell you, man. It's like it's hard, man. You know what I mean? It's hard, but you know, it's all gravy. I mean, I know everybody have a different path, but I feel like you know, I respect the fact that you guys are true to yourselves as far as being clean, right?
Yeah.
But I know how difficult it is. But at the same time, when you get those gems, them jokes that you got, that's killing, and you know it's 100% clean, like that's extra gold. Because you like, man, when I'm able to get this one on TV, it's gonna fly everywhere. You know what I mean? Y'all know the jokes I'm talking about. You know the jokes that you won't share with nobody, and you only tell it on stage. You understand what I'm saying? I got jokes that I finally released online, and I'm going, oh, I should have kept that one. Like I shouldn't have let that one go. You know what I mean? Because like, you know, you just don't. I don't want to go on stage and tell a joke that somebody saw on YouTube. I don't want to do it.
So let me ask y'all that. How do y'all feel about what to put online and what to keep?
If I'm tired of telling a joke and I haven't rewritten it to the point where it's unrecognizable as the last joke that I did, I just put it out there. If I'm done with it, or if I look at old footage and realize I don't even tell that joke no more, or I have no desire to tell that joke no more, I just put it out there.
I'll be honest, man. It's tough for the stand-up part because I mean, it was like right when I first started, I didn't put no stand. I had like skits and stuff like that online, but the very first stand-up clip I put online, I had a joke, I had heard nobody do this topic at all.
Right.
And I was like a student. I was like, yeah, this one, and it was like, and I was fresh into it, so and the joint was hidden. I put on there like a I'm not gonna say his name because he was pretty popular.
Say his name.
When I get to a certain level, I'm gonna say his name.
Yeah.
And make a billboard. But now, like I put out, later that week I had a competition. I'm not gonna say because that's gonna give it away, but I had a competition thing for a TV show, right. And the dude was hosting the competition. At the end of his hosting act, and you know, in the joint for TV, you get like 90 seconds.
Right.
Especially for the audition, like 60, 90 seconds. You can't go over that time. And he did my closing out because he friended me on social media that the week that right after I put the joke out, and then when he was closing, he hit my same tag of my boy that we drove up with. He looked at me across, he was like, yo. I was like, yo, nobody ever did. So because of that moment, and then I had to come up with a whole new, like, because you know, you driving up, we timing each other, like, yeah, all right, we're gonna hit pause and you know, everything. He just took my joy from it, man.
Wow.
So like since then, I've been a little hesitant,
right,
to put stand-up stuff online just because of the fact. And then you know, you have even when you're like super recognizable, people still steal jokes. Like whoever makes the TV first, that's my joke.
Yeah, I get that part too. But you know, these internet people, just like they can find somebody that was a Karen online, they can find footage and be like, man, this dude did that joke back in 2005. And then show it, and then show you doing it, and go, yeah, that was his joke.
No, but it's so hard. It's so hard to prove. But my other thing is like I can create like so much. So it's like if somebody steals, they're gonna steal. But you still got to put stuff out there.
Yeah.
Especially the internet comedians, who's particularly just do internet comedian. Then they like maybe dabble in stand up to get like some more bread. But they are. You know, like beleaguered with like creating new content. So a lot of times they would just steal stuff.
Right.
You know, just to create, because they need to put stuff out on the schedule, like every 2 times.
So I'm not gonna say no names, right? But there's an internet comedian who there was a joke that was put up and it was on Twitter, and you see everybody commenting on the joke, right? Mm-hmm. The next day, this internet comedian, did the skit on that joke and used everybody's line that they were putting their own jokes in underneath it as his skit.
Wow. So he let them tag the joke.
So he just, and the creative thing about it was he gave credit to the person that put the original tweet up, but he didn't give the credit for all the jokes he told based off the comments that was underneath it. And people were like, oh, this dude is hilarious. And I go, this dude took all these jokes. Like all these jokes is just Black Twitter. This ain't got nothing to do with him. He didn't write none of that. You understand what I'm saying? Because think about it. If you read Twitter, some of the funniest comments ever is on Twitter, y'all. I mean, like, yo, these mothers wilding on here. Like, it's so funny. You know what I mean?
The internet
I wrote a post on Facebook one time, and the little funny joint or whatever. You know, some stuff I won't do on stage. I'll just like, you know, I just put it on Twitter or Facebook, whatever. Somebody tagged me the next day, and the chick was doing her little like vlog, popular internet joint, and word for word, she was reading my script. I was like, yo.
Yeah. And then you ever put a post up and you turn into a meme and you go, that was mine. Like I did that.
And then, but it's like who's to prove that? Like, all right, well, you said I did that joke like 5 years ago, and now like, no, you stealing the meme.
My joke was a meme. I was like, yo, my joke a meme. They was like, wasn't that your joke you used to do? I was like, yeah.
You made it.
I just tagged my boy in that this week because he got this joke about Black Lives Matter, of course, and he was talking about he went to the Chinese store and thought they was down with the movement because they wrote BLM on the box. Well, the meme was a box of Chinese food, BLM, and said his exact joke word for word on it.
Wow.
I said, bro, your joke has become a meme. He was hot, but I'm like, what can you do? What can you do?
You can't.
Nothing.
You can't.
Because even what's his name? Mencia, like he was stealing, like, and then what you come and had Cosby jokes.
Oh yeah, he did the Cosby bit verbatim.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm missing the white girl.
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
She did the Patrice O'Neal bit.
Yeah, and she did she did Cosby's bit about the father, like, the father like raised his son, go, put him.
No, that was Mencia. That was Mencia that did that one.
No, I think Amy Schumer
did. Amy did it too.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
But like, yeah.
Well, here's the problem I have is the people that apologize for it, not the fans, because your fans is gonna be your fans. But when you have comedians that apologize or are apologists for somebody that literally stole a joke, because we know how difficult it is to write a bit, you know what I mean? And that's why I try to keep all my bits personalized for myself.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for somebody to justify them telling a joke about something I personally went through.
Yeah.
Because then when I can confront them about it, I go, so tell me when this happened to you. Like, tell me what happened. What was the dynamic behind that story you told? You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things. But I've confronted people about jokes, and I've also had people confront people about telling my joke.
Yeah.
Or they hit me up like, yeah, I had to talk to so-and-so because he was doing your joke. One time I was doing a show in Raleigh, and Ryan Davis hit me up. He said, yo, I heard you did your thing in Raleigh last night. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, because you was killing in Charlotte too. I said, what you talking about? I said, man, this dude told your shit verbatim. I was like, what? He was like, yo, word for word. He said, I hit him up. Joel hit him up. He's like, my 3 people walked up after the show like, yo, don't do that. Don't do that one. And they was like, I was like, that's crazy.
When I first started, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So a comedian out of Milwaukee, D-Rock, he told me, he said, man, listen, just keep writing.
Yeah.
And he said, once it leave your mouth, you can't stop what happened with it. So just keep writing.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's what he told me, man.
That's wisdom there.
We rely on our material, but then we can get lazy with it and not write as often, like not write as much as we need to. But then I was also talking to a comedian who's an internet comedian, and he goes, just keep putting content out. He said, what if you write a dope joke and just put it on the internet? Then what you gonna do? I was like, keep writing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you force yourself to write. Like, I had a exercise I used to do, and it's different when you don't live in New York, because in New York you can get up every night. So you can actually get on stage every single night and keep working on material. But if you're not in a New York type environment and you need to challenge yourself to write more, right? What if you took every month, you force yourself to write 5 new minutes of material every month, 5 new minutes of material every single month, right? If you did that and you got to December, even if you didn't like half of what you did, you still got a half hour of new material.
Yep, that's right.
So then you can take the half hour that you used to do, put it on the album, put it out there, right? And then start the new stuff.
When I started, touring with some of the bigger names, I started to see that they at these shows, but these shows are they open mics.
Yep.
And they working it out, they doing their thing. So it's like, man, they using this crowd for their open mic because they don't have time to go to an open mic.
They don't.
So,
I do the same thing. I mean, if I got a bit I'm working on, if I'm on stage and I'm headlining, or if I'm featuring, if I'm featuring, I say, I got to dedicate 3 minutes to this new bit.
Yeah.
I just take it. If I'm headlining, I'm dedicating 10 minutes to new stuff. And if it don't work, it's in the middle. So I've already done the hot in the beginning. I get to the middle, I do my 10 minutes of open mic material, stuff that I'm trying out, and then I close it out with the hot stuff.
That's smart.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna close with no new bit. Because I'll be like, oh man. And I ain't started with no new bit. You know?
I've started with new stuff before. I let somebody talk me into it.
That's scary as hell.
Because you know what you got coming after that, and then because you're gonna forget to do it in the middle because you're gonna be in your groove.
But see, the beginning is where you get that's where you grab the audience.
Yeah.
So if you start off trash, they gonna be like, man, what you ordering? Like, I'm not listening to this. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta. That first 3 minutes gotta be hot, man. That first 3 minutes need to be hot. You know what I mean?
Usually, like for me, like the most of the early part is like using new. Well, it's not even just new, but it's just like whatever is organic in the space
in the room.
Yeah. Right.
To set your tone.
Yeah, because that's always going to like grab them. Like, you know, you see a whole table of something or whatever, but you know, you just intertwine that into the material.
Right. I feel the same way, man. I've seen people die a slow death based off their first 3 minutes, and then try to dig themselves out of that hole, and it's not good. You know what I mean? So start off hot, do some hot stuff in the beginning, and I think the best feeling in the world is when you got a hot closer, and you go through time, maybe 6 months, 7 months, and now you starting with the closer. You like, oh yeah, I got a new closer, but that old closer, that's going up front now. You be like, oh man, yeah, that's like a way better feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. I'm about to knock them out there. I'm about to knock their head off. You know what I mean? So sometimes we used to do that. We used to go do sets, and we got like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Like, yo, start with your closer. They're like, what am I in with? Just start with your closer. See what happens. You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, I think one of the good things in DC is like you can hit, like I can hit easy like 3-4 like mics, or like actually not even, I wouldn't even really call them a mic, but they're like a quality show that had like, you know, at least 40-50 people in it.
Yeah.
Night. You know, like I can every day, so like I can like really work out.
That's good, man. That is good. See, that's what I want. But see, even here in Charlotte, they got a mic that's open every night. But sometimes it's just all comedians in there. Like there's no audience.
Right.
And me telling a joke in front of comedians, I don't want to hear how clever I was. I want to hear the laughter so I know that it works. And you know, we look at jokes differently. Like we look at jokes like, yeah, you should have put the other part in though. Like then we'll say that while you on stage. Like, so.
Hey Bliss, that was a good joke, dog. No laughter. That's good.
Look, and you be on stage like, man, get out of here. Like, get out of here.
Hey, do y'all still like love it?
Yeah.
I do.
Absolutely, man. Feel like comedy is my it's my talent. You know what I mean? It's a gift that it was given to me. So whether I'm where I want to be, career-wise, I still know it's a gift. So I take it as that. It's a blessing. So I feel like, you know, I still get that high on stage. I still got to calm myself down after I get done. I still want to challenge myself when I feel like I didn't do as good as I could. You know what I mean? But this business can beat you up.
Yeah.
And it can make a lot of people bitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've all met that person.
Oh my God. Like, fam, get away from me. Just, I'm about to go up.
I get people ask me, why you always laughing? I'm like, dude, I'm getting ready to get paid to tell jokes, man. Sit down somewhere. You know what I mean?
Like, comedy is the best job you can have. I mean, everybody wants to be a comedian.
Yeah.
I think the good thing, and like I was actually thinking about this when we were talking earlier about like being clean, and it's like, I think part of the thing is like creating. You have to create, especially in this time, like whatever it is, like whether it's a show, some video content, whatever, like create your own stuff and create, because I know even like starting out is like, okay, what is my like target audience in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like who's your like go-to crowd? Like my girl Yvonne Orji, she got the whole Nigerian. Like Nigerians are big in the States. That's a big, you know, like, so what is your like your niche in a way, and like creating and like picking that brand, like really like delivering to that certain, like what you said, Roy Wood was telling you to you know, like claim it, right. Which is like is a good which is an excellent idea, because you know, you really have to like claim who you are and like build that identity for that lane. Right. It's like other people who like you think about it, they're like subsections of people for everything. Yeah, right. I'm watching the show. It's a weird random show. Betty. It's a show called Betty on HBO. By these girls who are skateboarders, and like the show's about nothing, but it's main entertainment. But it's like, yo, there's a whole culture of like just chicks who like to skateboard.
Right.
Like they're deep. They got this TV show about it, right? So I mean, like, there's a lane for everybody, really. Like niggas, like I got homegirls. She got 50 whatever thousand followers or whatever, how many people she got on Instagram because she does cosplay.
So on Paper Doll. You saw Paper Doll.
Huh?
On Paper Doll. And I met her at your joint. I met her and her crew. And when I tell you they have a huge following,
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
They black. They call themselves blurs, like black nerds. And dude, they dress up like superheroes.
Yeah, all the Japanese anime, and she invited me. I was like, "Yo, this joint is kind of like crazy. Like, I want to learn more about it." So she invited. They have a black, what they call it, like a Comic Con.
They have a Comic Con for black people. Yeah, it's dude. Wow. It's so, and their pictures be so dope. I be like, yo, like they'll literally remake a scene from a movie and do the pictures like of them.
Wow. And they have a whole weekend, like just the one here, and like in this area. They had a whole hotel shut down, like 5 floors, like people packed out. They got parties, and I was like, "This is like, people are really just into it." But it's a beautiful thing. But it goes to show you, like, yo, like there's a lane, like, a large group of people who will like diehard follow you for like picking a certain lane in a way, right?
Let me
specify for like people too.
Let me ask y'all this. Since you did bring this up, so I'm gonna ask the question. If you had to think for a second and name what your focus group is, or what's your niche audience? Like, what's your target audience? Who do you think you attract more? What's your target group?
Mine would be church folk, church people.
Church people, certain age range, or just church folk?
Older church people. And the funny part is, my material is not that it's so much church, because even when I go and do the clubs, I'm doing just clean material. I'm not doing church material. I try to make sure I go in there and do it different. But it's something about them old ladies that come up to me, baby, you is funny. You hear me? So hey, look, I would have to say that's just my niche.
So your niche ain't even who you trying to reach, but that's your niche. Once you get them, you get them. Yeah, exactly. I feel that too.
He's trying to get that pension plan.
Exactly.
It's sticking peppermints in your hand.
Right. No butterscotch. Here you go, man. Butterscotch. What would you say, Ron?
Man, you know what? Y'all got me rethinking my whole situation.
It's crazy because I couldn't think of mine.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm clean. So I always end up in churches, but I'm not a church comic.
Yeah.
I do well in the mainstream.
Right.
I do a lot of corporate events. I do well in clubs. So I would say
I would tell you that there's probably college educated 30-plus-year-old white dudes.
I'm a right-wing conservative.
He's got the allies. All the allies are his niche target audience.
Hey, they played the clip of mine on the Huckabee show. I was supposed to be flew out there and
get out.
The COVID happened. Dude,
are you serious?
I swear to God, I got so many conservatives that they dig me, man, and it's like.
So that's two. That's two women. So that's two different situations that y'all just named a group that's not you at all, but that's your target audience.
Yeah, you know what?
It's crazy, man.
I can't.
But I also say like you gotta like recognize who's really rocking with you. Like,
and the thing about it is, if you cultivate that, right, and you say, all right, I'm gonna target that audience, you'll grow faster.
Right. See, I think a lot of comedians, like, we forget that, like, yo, we really have to, and even if it's not like all the way, but like in our minds, you got to know who to go after, who's like your niche, your target, and like it's like a business. Like, we are a business because we're our own business, so we have to like, what's your brand identity gonna like hit, and like and connect with. So like, if
you serving the Popeye chicken sandwich, what you trying to get the Panera Bread audience for? They not coming to you. So it's like, like I say, I give a shout out to my man Marvin Hunter. Me and him was having a conversation on the phone, and he told me that he had a person that he was working with that does that type of research, and she did background on his videos and who was looking at him, and he recognized it after they figured out that his audience was college graduated women between the ages of 30 and 45. And he said anytime he did a video that wasn't in that demographic, people would complain about it.
Wow.
And then when he did something that was in that wheelhouse, he said that would get the most views. So it's like you got to know who's following you.
Well, it's mostly women for me.
Yeah.
You know, I did that.
He just said 5 different things. He said
that's what I'm saying.
Women,
bruh,
church, women, and conservative white dudes.
Listen, I don't
to a focus group.
To me, like I still sit down and I try to figure out, like, I don't know what it is that I'm doing that people, but I'm just telling. I don't write jokes per se. It's like you. It's like kind of like you. It's something that's happened to me
in your life, yeah.
And I'm able to retell it. So they look at me as a family man, so they can bring the whole family, but couples and this has been my vice the whole time. Like I can't figure it out.
Now you did Dry Bar.
I did Dry Bar.
Now what did you get from that? Like, did you get a lot of following from that?
I did, man. I did. It did pretty well. I didn't want to do it.
I did it. Mine ain't come out yet. I'm waiting for mine to come out. Yeah.
Dude, the brand is it's a big brand.
Right.
They got about 6 million people that follow clean comedy.
Yep.
And you like my comedy's clean, but I've always heard people say that it's right on the edge.
Yeah.
Because it's thought provoking to a certain extent. And people dig it, but when I did the Dry Bar, it taught me so much as far as that's the first time I had a clip that got like 3 million views, and you putting yourself out there. One thing, it means everything to get in front of all these people.
Yep.
On the other side, it means absolutely nothing. And you opening yourself up for criticisms and critiques, because it gave me tough skin, and it let me let go of all the stuff that I was holding on to. Like I was like, I ain't gonna never record this joke. This is the one.
Right.
I'm not
right.
So
right.
It's forcing me to go ahead and grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
once 6 million people see the joke, ain't no need to tell it on stage no more. Like,
it's done.
It's like
done. But the crazy thing about it, when it's certain jokes that you don't tell, they come up to, how come you didn't tell this joke? Well, you make sure you like, man, what y'all confuse me. What do y'all want?
Right.
But I'm back to what we said. I'm still trying to figure out who Rahn Hortman is.
Yeah.
Help.
I think like you're on it, like, because you were talking about your family stuff, Dry Bar, boom, 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 conservative, all that's the same thing. It's like, I think you got to play that up in a way. Like, and then, other people want to connect with you later. Even though I hate to use this analogy for many reasons, but like, for instance, Jay-Z, he was talking about how he's like, I could be, even one of his lyrics, he's talking about, I could be a Most Def or what do you say, Common or whatever.
Common Sense, yeah, right.
But he's like, I'm gonna make this money, and then like later on, basically, he's gonna like come back and like give to the community.
Yeah.
And so using that like kind of analogy is like, yo, like you can use that niche, even though that might not be where you want to be right now, or like what it is, but you use that to get to a level within where you can spread out to other things.
Think about that for a second. Think about where Dave Chappelle is right now, and think about when he first started. Urban audiences wasn't rocking with Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
Go back and look at Dave Chappelle's Def Comedy Jam appearance.
Yep.
That crowd wasn't falling out of their chairs like they are now for him.
Amen. Yeah. That's real.
And it's like even a better example, I would say, Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Right, yo. You're right.
A straight white boy, but the thing is, what the black audience is, what you gotta realize, like there's more money in mainstream, but when you pop, the black people are going like rock with you anyway.
So, who was this that told me this? I'm trying to remember what comedian. I don't want to get the name wrong, so I'm gonna say it, but hopefully I remember who told me this. Black people will make you famous. White people make you rich. That's the difference between mainstream and urban, because when black people rock with you, oh, you'll stay relevant. Oh, you're gonna stay relevant if black people rock with you. But there's so many comedians out there that got a whole lot of money that black people don't even know about.
Right. And there are a lot of famous black people who white people don't know about. And they don't get their money.
Absolutely. Because like I say, and it's funny because like you can be famous in the black community, and then once white people get a hold of you, they like, oh man, we've been rocking with him. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, now he done moved over to a different type of money. But then when the verse happened, where black people find out about you, but the white people been rocking with you already, you still go to another level, but your longevity is longer.
Yeah, because like with Chadwick B, like he had movies out, he was doing all the TV shows, he had his music, but then when he did Atlanta and he did a little joint about the Migos on the war show, all the black people start rocking with him, but like nobody, because he was kind of a corny black dude. Like nobody, but now like he's like the most woke dude ever.
Right.
All of a sudden. So I mean, it goes to like what you're saying as well. So I mean, that's
Yeah, it's weird, man, how that dynamic worked. But I always knew that I was able to work both sides. I knew I was able to do urban rooms and I was able to do mainstream rooms.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah. Some people that I know in this business been doing comedy long as me are they're terrified to do mainstream rooms. Terrified.
That's crazy.
Right.
I'm just throwing this out here. I don't know why my screen is frozen. I can hear y'all. I hope y'all can hear me.
We can hear you.
My man's extra still.
Now we can hear you.
He cold at freeze tag. Look at him.
I don't know. I don't hear him now. Maybe he blanked out.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. It just froze. I don't know why. I'm not gonna mess with it though. I'm gonna let it ride out. Yeah, and I'm sorry if y'all hear my family because they loud.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead and make your point.
No. I was just letting you. I'm here. I was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had a point to make. All right, cool.
No.
All right. Yo, we actually passed the time, but no, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man, on this Comedians Chopping It Up. Listen, I'll probably reach out to y'all individually again, try to bring y'all on another time. Like I say, each dynamic is different. So y'all always got stuff to bring us, stuff to add on. So, and also let me know if you're willing to come back on, or if you want to come back on, I can put you on that way too. So let me know what's good.
Thanks for having me, man.
Before y'all bounce though, y'all got to shout out to people, let them know how they can get y'all on social media. No doubt. Go ahead, Pat.
All right, so look, y'all can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff at Petey Ray Red. That is PeatyRayred. Like Jay Bliss was saying earlier, I do a character as well. So when I first started, everything was Petey Ray Red. But Patrick Williams on Facebook, but everything else is Petey Ray Red.
Petey Ray Red. All right, cool. All right, Ron.
The name is at Rahn Hortman. That's RAHN HORTMAN, or hashtag Granddaddy Fresh. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Be my friend, I'll be yours. And thank y'all for having me on here, Jay Bliss.
No doubt. And my man Tommy Taylor Jr.
Yes, sir. You can find me on everything. My name Tommy Taylor Jr. for JR. Tommy Taylor Jr. Instagram, Facebook, Tinder. I got an OnlyFans page. It's a Christian. So I got like the big toes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I got the base of my foot and like the heel like the other day. So I mean, how many? $19.95 for a subscription. Taylor Jr. And yeah, I appreciate you having me on the show. Bliss. Pleasure to meet you guys, Rob, Pat. Yeah, this was a good time.
No doubt, man.
No doubt, man. Hey, y'all stay up, man.
Yes, sir.
If you can connect, I'm gonna make sure I follow everybody too for this.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I'll make sure y'all get the connection. If you looking for somebody information, hit me up. I'll get it to you.
Yeah, I make sure I get it, y'all. Hey, y'all coming to Florida? We gonna figure it out.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, man.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace, brothers.
All right,
take it easy, man.